This is MyWellFair podcast. Yeah. So, hello, Elle. Hello. So, this is our very first episode of MyWellFair podcast. Over here, there's a lot of things that we would like to discuss. And one of the things that we are going to focus on is wellness.
Yeah, wellness. Yeah.
Yes. So, Elle, do tell us, what is this podcast all about?
Oh, okay. So I think wellness is a very broad word, but we're here to find out what wellness actually really means. And at least between the both of us, okay, we're not here to put out advice or anything, but we're here to talk about our journeys.
Yes.
How we got here in the very first place, how we realized whether wellness is for us and how we interpret it as regular people, and because we knew each other before this already, right?
Yeah.
But maybe the people do not know us.
Okay, so the both Elle and I, we've been around in the animation, comic, and games ACG community, and we've been doing a lot of cosplays. We've been doing a lot of performances, and there's a lot of other things that we do inside the ACG events.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to give the audience maybe a 3-point introduction of us, so that at least they know us.
Yeah.
First
What's a
of all-
3-point introduction? What's a 3-point introduction?
Well, I mean, it's just like, your age.
Oh, we are living and feeling age. No.
No, it's a tricky topic, but they need to know where we stand, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe for me, I'll start.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Boy santai dulu, okay?
But-
Clearly, I am the younger one here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do I
clearly.
look that old?
No.
I need to focus on face wellness now.
Yeah, that's a great topic we
Yeah.
can go into.
Yeah.
I can give you some tips later.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
my name is Elle. I am a representative of the young adult community, I would say. I mean, I am within my 20s still. I have that beautiful number 2 in front.
All right. Okay. So my name's Ash. I am actually at my mid-30s. Yeah, mid-30s. So I'm a father of one. So I have a 2-year-old daughter. I'm considered new parents, considering because it's my first child, right? And then now through this podcast, I hope I want to learn more about how to be a good parent.
Yeah,
Some-
I think it's very interesting because we're both in our budding journeys.
Yes.
I would say I'm a young adult, and I have been in this position for a while, but I'm also learning how to navigate where I really want to be, what is a healthy work-life balance, what is healthy for me to be exploring my interests, and then the same for you too, because
Yes.
you're a new father, right?
Yes.
I cannot imagine what it's like to be a parent yet for myself.
Oh God! Like
but it's gonna be a huge drop, right?
It is like it's such a life-changing journey to be a parent. Anybody were to ask me is it easy? I would definitely say it's not, but at the same time it's interesting. Something that you would say something that it evolves you to be much more a better person. Like it's not just about you from now on. It's about you and your own family. That's what it meant. You have your new thing that you got to prioritize. So being a new parent is something mind-opening.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool because we actually met through the anime comic game scene, the whole ACG thing. And to just give a brief explanation, it's about, hobbies of costume play, cosplay. There's also just really liking the developers of the animation. So maybe the artists, the people who brought the storyline, the people who voice act.
Yes.
And then the last one is games. Like we all have played a game, right?
Yes.
At least Tetris at the very beginning.
Yeah. At this age, everybody plays game.
Yes,
It
yes.
doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter which age you are. You definitely played a game, and in the very least at this age.
Yeah. And I think for Ash, right, because why that he was so compelling is that he is a father, and he's not just a father that does work and also does ACG, right, anime, comic, and games. He also brings his whole family. I think.
Yeah.
I think you met your wife through that, right?
Yes.
Give us a story about that.
So actually, how I met my wife in the ACG scenes is that at first I never expect that she's from the ACG scenes. I never expect that.
Wait, so do you know her before that?
No, I did not know that she's inside the ACG scenes.
Oh.
And then I found out she's in the ACG scene since 3 to 4 years prior before I met her. So like imagine in the circle that's quite small to be considered during that age, like 2012 or 2013, somewhere there. It was considered relatively small, right?
Right.
So I did not see her. Like as if fate did not put us together yet.
No, that's a thing
Yeah.
that I see on the internet.
Yeah.
Where there was like the fate thing. It was like you realize that there's people who revolve around your life.
Yeah.
But well, God doesn't put you guys together
Yes.
until you need to meet.
Yes, yeah. Some people say the star are yet to cross. When the day comes, that's when I know, okay, at least she knows what I'm doing here. You know, like I'm doing in a hobby, it's actually safe and whatnot. A lot of people can relate to those who find their partner inside the ACG scenes.
I think that's really cool because being in the ACG side, right, is not something that's very widespread, not something
Yeah.
very accepted.
Yes,
Actually.
true,
and,
true.
And that because you met her there and she knew what you were doing,
Yeah.
it was easier to accept. And
Yeah.
like you already know that she knows your hobby, this is her hobby. Like
Yes,
there's that connection there. So when you looked at her the first time in cosplay, was she cosplaying?
Yeah, when she was cosplaying.
Yeah,
I was so shocked. Like, she was cosplaying? Wow, you're a cosplayer. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, like cosplaying, standing there, you finally meet. Were you like, do?
I'm more like relieved to know that she's a cosplayer because I met my wife inside the ACG scenes, right? Like, and I found out that she's a cosplayer. That's the moment where I kind of relieve that I don't need to explain a lot about cosplay. And this is the part where it give me really like it heals me mentally. Like it give me a very good wellness to myself.
Right.
Like in the very least, I know that she would be a very understanding wife. It's one way that I know it would lead to be a good kind of a marriage. So that's the moment I know she's gonna be the one.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the one. Yeah.
Oh, so you had that moment. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I think because ACG also is like something that is like your little kid coming out to play, and to have somebody that accepts you for it.
True.
That's a huge
True.
part. That's a huge part of marriage too.
True. A very huge part of marriage. So right now we become a parents, and we are developing as much as we can to tell people how can whatever that we do as the same people with the same hobby can be a good parents towards our kid. You know, you don't have to force the hobby towards our kids, but on the same
Right.
time, we show to them that, hey, we're happy. Our mental state is great and whatnot. So in the future, when our kids have their own hobby, you have to support it like how we support each other as a
Right.
husband and wife.
Do
kind
you
of thing.
ever had that that question in your head, like, oh, it'd be really funny if we both love cosplaying, you and your wife, right? And but our daughter grows up to like love, you know, I don't know, writing or reading, like something that's like totally
I
normal.
think that's the best part. Like the best part is that we know how does it feel to support each other. Yeah, and then when we know that feel, we can project it towards our kid. Yeah,
Right.
that's the best part about it. That's what wellness in being in a parents is all about. You know, projecting towards them, supporting whatever they do, as long as it doesn't break the law.
Okay.
Right. It's something like that.
But
So, how about you in the scenes? Whenever you work, how do you maintain yourself in the scenes? Like how you maintain yourself through wellness
Okay.
mentally? Let's go with mentally first.
Okay,
Yeah.
mentally, right.
Yeah.
I think cosplay came to me, I would say relatively later. I think when I was like 20 onwards, where most people who were in the scene at that time, like you said 2013, they were already, you know, doing it since they were young. And that's not because I didn't know what cosplay was. It was because I was afraid of my parents commenting on my hobby, on what I actually really like to do. And at the beginning, it was really tough to convince them that, you know, what I'm doing is safe. I'm just going to a convention and I'm just dressing up. I know it looks out of the ordinary, but it gives me a lot of joy.
Yeah,
It gives me a lot of
during
fun.
that time, it was really out of the ordinary. Like, nobody know what this cosplay is all about.
And
Yeah.
I was telling this to my friends the other day, like the event last weekend. I was wearing my wig. I was getting ready to go. I walked outside. My mom was outside. She looked at me. I looked at her, and she didn't say anything, which is a great step.
Okay.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
'cause usually-
I thought you're still having this problem. No.
No, I mean it's a great step. She'll usually be like, "Oh, you look so weird, like with like the color hair," or like in Cantonese, they'll be like, well, "What are you doing, lah?" Like, you know.
Understand.
But she just looked at me, acknowledged me, and just moved on with her life. Like this is a normal thing.
Okay. At least that's something.
Yeah.
You know, that is at least it's something, guys. Since 2013, you started, right?
Yeah.
Right now, your mother has been like
Accepting.
kind of accepting, right? So, if it's not your mom, how about the people around you? Like, do you ever get this negative comment from the netizens and stuff? It's like, I wouldn't say netizens, but more like the fans around.
Ooh, okay. So
Yeah.
I've been cosplaying for about 5, 6 years now.
Yeah, it's a very long time.
It's pretty long. So I've gotten my fair share of negativity from kind of everywhere. Whether it's a family member who doesn't understand, or it's a random uncle in the mall just staring at me and like judging me when I'm just trying to order food in a different colored hair. Like, these things really affect me too, right? And
True.
like comments too. I think like when you're cosplaying, you wanna do your character that you love justice, right? You wanna really match the original source as much as possible, and then you also want to share it out on social media.
True.
Of course, like you want to share your love to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And I think there was one character, my favorite character, which is Tifa.
Yeah.
And she's not the most conservative, but she's a strong woman.
She's quite daring, if you ask me. Yeah,
quite daring. But
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a strong woman. Like her character, she's very strong. She's very caring, very compassionate, and I love that about the character. That's why I want to be her.
Ah.
Yeah, but there's comments online. There's always going to be like, oh,
Which version do you do it?
I did the remake version.
Oh, the remake version.
Yeah.
Okay, the PS5.
Yeah, the
PS4.
the PS4 version.
Yeah, PS4 version.
The older version is a bit more.
More daring.
More
I think.
daring.
Yeah, more daring.
So it's still. It's not that spectrum, but people normally, when they look at these kind of things, they're going to be like, well, what is that? Why is she wearing until like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Understand.
Actually, online, it's more of like, you do not suit her. Like, your eyes are not big enough.
Oh,
You're like, this doesn't fit it. And it's so, like, what am I going to do?
How do you overcome this?
I mean, first of all, I asked myself, okay, how truthful is it? Like, is this really like, is this constructive criticism? Or is this just somebody trying to troll me online? Right? Because until I decide whether it's true or not, then I know how to reply, right? Most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, I do just leave it, because I do feel like if I were to throw back comments, it's going to fuel the fire. And if I fuel the fire, it's just never going to end. I might as well just look at it. I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe he has a point. Maybe he doesn't. Okay, I'm just gonna take it in for that moment, and then I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
Maybe he means well. Maybe he means like, oh, I can do better makeup. Or maybe somebody who comments on like my body, which is like, oh, you know what, you can be stronger, for example.
I understand.
But it really does affect your mental, like you really just want to show your love, and then someone just tells you you're not it.
How do you like differentiate between constructive criticism and also like a ridiculous criticism? Like how do you tend to differentiate in a state of your mental not doing okay during that time? Yeah. Do you have help?
Yeah, I do have help, but I do just look at the tone of the comment. Like if the guy is just going, hey, I think that you could do a better job in the makeup.
Yeah.
I think Tifa's eyes is larger. Like you can try to emphasize that. I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's a good. That's a good
great,
one. That's a good one.
But if
Yeah.
you're like, oh no, this is not accurate. Your eyes are bigger. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just try to Photoshop it bigger. What else can I do?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, like concept. In the future, guys, if let's say you guys were doing this, like come up with a better constructive criticism. It's much more better through that.
Yeah.
Mental health is so important, nowadays.
Yeah, I tell this to all my friends too. Like sometimes we have opinions on people's work or even our friends, right? Like we want to make sure that they're on track, but not every single time just saying it out, blurting it out is the right thing to do. Because I feel like, yes, you want to help. A lot of people, they say, oh, I have the intention to help, so I'm going to say it out.
Yeah.
But helping is also knowing when to say it and how to say it.
Yeah,
Because
true.
you want them to perceive what you're saying.
Yeah. Some people tend to justify their words by saying, oh, because I'm an honest person. Like you can be honest, but on the same time, there's a way for you to construct the sentence really well, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, mental health. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very tough on your end.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but it's a journey that I like doing.
But I never expect you going through that because I think you look great. I think you look great as a cosplayer. Whenever I look at you the first time, it's like your Tifa. Like I think you look really good.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm a fan of Final Fantasy VII, so I know.
High five.
Yeah. Like, you're really good. Yeah. Like I'm a huge fan of F7. When I look at your cosplay, approved.
Oh, thank you so much. How about you though? I mean, since you say you like this, right?
Yeah.
Do you go through this criticism too?
Oh well, aside from parents, of course, parents used to be one of the toughest one. But I tend to prove them by joining competitions. Whenever the fans of the characters decide to like go nuts on it whenever I perform, that's when I know I got the approval. That's when I now got approval as the fans of the character. For example, let's say I do cosplay of Kadach from Final 7, right? So when I perform over there, people will like, oh, scream with the moveset that I did. That actually relate to Kadach in the list. That's when I know that my mental state as a cosplayer heals. Yeah. Like it's not about the winning, but more about, making sure that my mental state is really good. That's why I get on the stage.
As a parent going into cosplay and continuing it, you should have definitely gotten negative comments too, right?
Of course, of course, of course. Some people tend to put a gossip, be like, oh, we are so irresponsible to bring kids to the event. Because, after PKP, people tend to say like, oh, it's not safe, like all this kind of stuff. And then what's worse is that when Marissa, my daughter, decide to like go, decide to go like, sometimes they start to get cranky and everything.
Yeah.
So like you cannot close people's eye, but on the same time they look at you like as if like we're bad parents.
Right.
And ignoring the fact that all other times my kids is not doing cranky stuff. Like they're not cranky. The only time when my kid's cranky probably because she wants to sleep, or probably she wants milk, or probably she wants something that she saw at the events. Like the event is so vibrant, right? So we as parents tend to like have this trouble. Like whenever people look at us, like when we have this trouble, they want to see how we do things and everything. They want to see how we react to our kids. That's how they want to see. But here's the bad part. Here's the thing that I really want to point out. They're not even parents. They're not even parents. This is the best part. You guys are not even parents. You don't know, like, we are going through it. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a process. Like let's say my kids are throwing tantrum and everything. Okay, let them 5 seconds. That 5 seconds to them feels like 5 years of kids going nuts. Like
but that's kids. Kids will do that.
Kids being kids, right?
Right.
But at the same time, how we extinguish, like it's like a fire. How we extinguish it is how we can educate the people around.
Right.
Like whenever we try to educate people around it as a parent, that's what we want to. That's what I think. A way to tell everyone being a parent is actually okay.
Yeah, and you also go out there in cosplay just to show them that you can do it.
I join competitions too. Like even as a parent, I join competition too. Like my daughter followed me and everything. Like my wife followed me.
Wow.
Like both of them see us performing on the stage. To tell them like whenever we perform on the stage, it's not just about it's not just about you need to be single to be on the stage. You can also be a parent to be on the stage. Like when you be on the stage, you perform together with your family and whatnot. One thing for sure is to inspire people. To tell them, hey, it's okay to be a parent. You know, like a lot of people in our community like kind of like scared to be a parent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are. They think like whenever they become a parent, it's just
and right.
yeah, it's just that's the end of the journey. Yeah.
No, but people need to realize that even though your life changes, like your life still exists.
Of course.
It doesn't just stop.
Yeah.
You maybe you change your type of priority, right?
I think something that I really need to highlight is that how much my wife is technically one of the best thing that ever happens to me. Like when it comes to us being a parents, like she is always being the MVP of the day. Like she knows when is the time that my daughter needs to drink, needs to nap and whatnot. She's the MVP. You need to make sure that being a parent is not just about one parent's thing. You need to make sure that both of you needs to be there. So if let's say you come to the event and you're like alone together with your kid, not having you there, like let's say for example the mother come without the husband, right? Not having the husband there is gonna be a huge disadvantage. That's why whenever you see a mother handling her kids alone at events, is a super mom.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I seen moms take like public transport with their kids, and I think it's crazy.
Yeah, it's huge. That's like mental challenging to a lot of people. So that's why I think by far my wife is one of the most respectful women on earth for me. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. I think is that how you also like find wellness important to you?
Yeah, it is. Like another part that I believe about my wife. Mental state. Whenever they do it, it also drains her mentally, right? That's where I need to come in. Listen, guys, I really need to emphasize this a lot to a lot of people out there. Whenever you're being a husband and wife and you become a parent and whatnot, as a husband, please do note that it's not your wife's job to take care of your family or your daughter or your son. It's actually your wife is just helping you, taking care of your children. They're helping you. So because all of the responsibility belongs to you. You the one who need to do it.
Right.
They're just there to help. If they're not helping, then it's your job to do it. You cannot like put everything on her. You cannot put everything on her.
Right.
Yeah, because whenever they do it, be very, very thankful. Be appreciative about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna like clap to that,
Yeah.
man. It might drop right there, guys.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, because one thing a lot of husbands did not realize this. Whenever they have kids, they'll be like, oh, it's wife job. It's very annoying to me to hear that whenever a father have kids and everything, like even to the core, to the diaper changing and everything, everything just champa all the way to the mom's job. Like you cannot put it as a mom's job.
Right.
You gotta pro first. You gotta pro first. Like you gotta know how to take care of your kids. You gotta know how to put them to nap. You gotta know how to do everything, and then your wife just enhance it for you. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That's the perspective of a husband needs to have.
Okay. To my future husband, please watch this podcast. Thank you very much.
That's how you create wellness in your family.
That's so
Okay, just now we already spoke about the challenges that you went through and how you overcome your challenges on the negative comments through your hobby as a cosplayer. And then on my end also talk about the challenges that I have as a parents and how I overcome it. And through that, we all, hopefully through this podcast, people will definitely learn about it.
I realized we talked a lot about our mental wellness and like how we get to express and everything, but we haven't yet talked about the other side of wellnesses.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if I were to talk about bodybuilding and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Bodybuilding?
Yeah, I want to try to build up some body, try to build up some weight. So I want to see which one is like a correct one, which one is the myth. So like to see whether it would actually affect my gymhood. Yeah. So what about you? What would you like to talk about in the future?
Oh, I think what I really want to talk about, and it's related to my generation, right? My generation of the young 20s and everything, is that burnout is a very serious thing. It's tough for us to juggle everything. I think everybody has burnout too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like with the situation of the world right now, tariffs happening. It's like we're not sure whether it's really happening or not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking from my sense, but there's people out there working 2 to 3 jobs, people who are trying to juggle just to survive. And
Me.
We're trying the hustle culture.
The hustle culture. Like right now, knowing you, I think the one who are having hard at this point is the Gen Zs. Like Gen Z is having it hard. It's like we're the millennials right now only think about how to maintain ourselves, while the Gen Z is thinking about how to survive these generations, guys. Like it's so it's so tough on your end.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of Gen Zers, people who are my age or younger, they don't take their wellness seriously.
Yeah.
They just think like, oh, I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna hustle through things.
Oh my God.
But if you're gonna continue going through this route, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to crash. You're going to burn.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. It's like knowing whatever at the end of the journey it's not gonna be pretty.
Even for myself, I'm trying to move towards a healthier place, a sustainable place for me to exercise what I love. Hustle when I need to, but also take care of myself.
Yes.
So a lot of these are very interesting topics.
And hopefully it's going to be put on more for the next podcast that we have.
Yeah, I think we also love to hear from the people what they want to hear.
Yeah. If you guys want to know more in the future what we have, you guys can comment down below. And then you also can follow us in our social media. Which platform do we have?
So we have Facebook, we have YouTube, TikTok. We also have Spotify. So there's a lot of social media platforms that you guys can find us.
Okay, so on the next podcast, we're going to have another guest that we're going to be joining us. And they will be experts on the topics that we are going to talk about.
Ooh,
so, hey, if you want to know, then you need to follow our social media. That's the moment that we are going to announce to you guys who it shall be.
Oh my God. Okay, I can't wait to find out.
Of course, that will be on the next podcast. To end this podcast, my name is Ash.
And my name is Elle.
And this is
My Welfare Podcast.